I'm going to let you guys into my life. I'm going to let you guys into everything, almost everything. I'm going to try and put out the most raw, authentic content possible. I want to give you guys all of me in business, in life, in everything, in content creation, whatever it is. And this is part of the journey, because this was a real crucial moment in my life turning around for the better, ironically enough. So I have no friends. I mean, I got a couple. I consider them family, but really I don't have friends. And the people who know me in real life can attest to this, that I move solo. Everything I do on my own. I have no friends. There was a certain point where I just cut everybody off. It was really one by one, but I just cut everybody off. Not that there was a big falling out period or anything like that, but I just stopped talking to people and I just went all in on my work and in my business, and that's when everything turned around for me. But there's a reason why I did that. See, I'm a little different, and I pride myself on that, and I think you should pride yourself on that too. But there was a point where I realized that nothing else mattered to me but being able to say I make 5 figures a month or 6 figures a month, or to be able to say that I actually did everything I said I wanted to do in this life, or to be able to retire my dad, which I'm still working on, and everything in between. Nothing else mattered to me. And so all the times, I started to realize that every time I went out with friends and socializing, that I couldn't help but just think of wanting to go back and do work, and I couldn't be present anymore, right? And so I cut everybody off for a couple of reasons. Number one, that, but number two, also I want to be the best, the greatest, the best to do what I'm doing. And to do that, I realized that I had to sacrifice all distractions, right? I had to sacrifice all distractions, and I'm just not the kind of person to want to be mingling around and catching up and going for drinks. No, I wanted to be all in on my business because I want to be the best. I want to be the best at what I do. I want to be the biggest content creator in this space, in the self-development, personal development space. I wanted to be the biggest entrepreneur, the biggest person in this space, the best version of myself. And a lot of that means going to the gym all the time, building the business all the time. When I'm not doing those things, that means I'm distracted. And I personally don't believe in work-life balance. I believe in making the work so fulfilling and so enjoyable that it becomes life. I believe in enjoying the process so much, enjoying the work that you do so much that it stops feeling like work. Number three, I also had to realize that I didn't like where I was. I still have a long way to go, but I didn't like where I was before when I didn't have any money. And I had to admit that the reason why I was there in that situation was because of the people, places, and things that I identified with. And I had to look at the friends that I have and ask myself, honestly, are these people inspiring me? When I leave these situations, when I leave these conversations, when I leave these social settings, do I feel inspired and expansive, or do I feel like I have to play a role? I have to play a role that is smaller than who I actually am. And when I was honest with myself, I realized that, I was settling. And that wasn't anything on them, speaking bad about them. It was more so myself, that I knew I could do better, that I knew that I should be networking upwards, that I should be fighting or focus rather on always progressing upwards. And I realized also that a lot of my friends were comfortable, and I do not resonate with people who are comfortable. I don't play things safe, and I understand accepting people for who they are. That's fine. But I resonate with people who go all in. I resonate with people who are obsessed over something. I resonate with people who are trying to build something that is seemingly larger than life. That is what I relate to. And unfortunately, there came a point in time where as I started to understand myself more, and as I started to know myself more, I realized what I did and did not resonate with, right? And who I did and did not resonate with. And so my life started to take a 180 once I stopped associating myself with old friends. Because a lot of people don't realize that we get held back because we care about the opinions of the people that we love. And I was playing small because I was afraid of what other people thought about me. And it wasn't until I removed myself from everybody and removed myself from old environments and old things that I started to feel liberated, and I started to post content for my business. I started to show up in a really authentic way. I started to take risks. I started to, put out products. I started to post content about my business and what I was doing, because I stopped being afraid of what other people thought. And what's funny is, when you start doing that, your old friends will start laughing at you, or they'll start making comments because they don't really know how to understand it, and that's okay, because you're showing up as a different person now. And so long as their opinions still matter to you, well, then you're going to play small, and you're going to start self-sabotaging, and you're not going to want to do that stuff. You're not going to want to show up in the way that you should. And so I realized that I had to distance myself from everything and just start building my business. And I realized that if you're doing things right, I said this before in another video, if you're doing things right, people will find out about you regardless. You won't have to tell them. And most people's dreams die before they even see the light of day, because we are running it by friends and family before we even start. And that's a way of asking for permission. You got to stop asking for permission. Just start doing things and let people find you weird. Let people say what they want to say. That's a sign that you are on your way. That's a sign that you are doing things right, is when people don't really know how to process it, and so they start making these slick comments, or they start laughing at you or hating on you. That's a real indicator that you're doing something right, and you don't have to respond. Remember that you don't have to respond. I find in my work, especially with my one-on-one clients, that the people who achieve the most success are the people who are willing to sacrifice everything in the name of their goal. And there's nothing that I'm not willing to sacrifice. Take that how you want. There's nothing that I'm not willing to sacrifice to build my reality. And believe me, you're going to have to sacrifice something, and it's for the better. And whoever's meant for you, they'll find their way back to you. Whatever's meant for you will find its way back to you. I'm a firm believer of that. Just let go. And it's not that you have to, get into an argument or fall out with anybody, like I said before. But naturally, as you just start focusing all of your energy and all of your time on that goal you have in your head, that vision you have in your mind, the things that are not in alignment with that will start to dissipate. Trust me, it'll start to feel forced. You'll start to realize that a lot of those friendships were forced and only existed because you were playing small. When you stop playing small, well then, the small things will disappear. And so yeah, I titled this video Why I Cut Off All My Friends, but really it was just a natural occurrence. It was a natural process. And I'm proud to say that everybody who's in my life right now serves a purpose. They pour into me and I pour into them. We are all moving forward and progressing and building. And I only want to be around people who are building things. I only want to work with people who are serious about building something for themselves. And so to my past self watching this, you are where you are right now because of the people you're around. There's no way around that. You might get lucky, but do you want to wait and bet on chance? Or do you want to build this thing for real and for certain? That saying that we are the 5 people we interact with energetically the most, like that is a real thing that you cannot avoid. If there's anything that is true in this reality, it is that energy exchange is something you can't avoid. And so what I would encourage you to do is, if you're not content with where you're at right now, is to reflect as to who you're interacting with the most energetically, not even who you're physically around the most, but who you're talking to every day, who you're exchanging energy with every day, thought energy every day, who you're thinking about the most, and separate yourself from that and build again. Start from scratch again. The fastest way to add to your life is to subtract. Think about that. Hit the like button. See you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.